Don Harkins, presumably murdered in 2009, was an investigative journalist. He presented an explanatory model called the 9 Veils. This model is based on numerological and universal laws expressed in the number 1 to 9 and on the fact that ancient and hidden knowledge about life, creation, God, as well as the origin of man is embedded in the mathematical grid called logic, which is also taught in the ancient secret teachings of Sumer or the Kabbalah. Apparently, all human beings go through a kind of filtering process, similar to the many sports teams in the minor leagues, where out of millions of players, perhaps only the 50 best make it to the highest league. The following is Harkins' summary of the theory of the 9 veils that have been layered on people's consciousness. The first veil. 10% of us would pierce the first veil and find a world of politics. We would vote, become active and develop an opinion. Our opinions would be shaped by the physical world around us. We would have been conditioned from our days in public education to accept that government officials, network media personalities and other experts are the primary voices of authority. 90% of the people in this group would live and die without having pierced the third veil. The second veil. 10% of us would also pierce the second veil to explore the world of history, the relationship between man and government, and the meaning of self-government through constitutional and common law. 90% of the people in this group would live and die without having pierced the third veil. The third veil. 10% of those who pierce the second veil would eventually pierce the third veil to conclusively find that the resources of the world, including people, would be controlled by extremely wealthy and powerful families whose incorporated old world assets would have, with modern extortion strategies, would become the foundation upon which the entire world's economy would be currently indebted. 90% of the people in this group would live and die without having pierced the fourth veil. The fourth veil. 10% would then pierce the fourth veil to discover the Illuminati, Freemasonry and the other secret societies. These societies would use symbols and perform ceremonies that perpetuate the generational transfers of arcane knowledge that is used to keep the ordinary people in political, economic and spiritual bondage to the oldest bloodlines on earth. 90% of the people in this group would live and die without having pierced the fifth veil. The fifth veil. 10% would progress to perceive the fifth veil to learn that the secret societies would be so far advanced technologically that time travel and interstellar communications have no boundaries, and controlling the very thoughts and even the very actions of people is what their members do as offhandedly as we tell our children when they must go to bed. As in the days of Noah, this technology is even creating synthetic life forms as man seeks to displace God. 90% of these people in this group would live and die without having pierced the sixth veil. The sixth veil. 10% would progress to pierce the sixth veil, where we learn the dragons and lizards and aliens, non-light beings we thought were the fictional monsters of childhood literature would be real indeed, and would be in reality the actual controlling forces behind the secret societies uncovered in the fourth veil. 90% of the people in this group would live and die without piercing the seventh veil. The seventh veil. 10% would progress to pierce the seventh veil, where the incredible world of fractal geometry and the universal law of numbers will be fully understood and embraced. The creative force of entire universe would be shown to be linked to numerical code formulas and sequences, and all mysteries, including the very fabric of time, space, parallel universes, and access therein, would be unlocked. Those whose intellects allow them to pierce the seventh veil often succumb to the lure and promise of massive wealth offered by the ruling elite, and thus over 90% of the people in this group would live and die without piercing the eighth veil. The eighth veil. Piercing the eighth veil would reveal God and the pure energy known as unconditional love, that is the pure life force in all living things, which are one and the same. Deep-seated humility would be needed in order to ever pierce this veil. The ninth veil. Piercing the ninth veil means perfecting the pure energy known as unconditional love, and thereby becoming truly one with God and His formulations. By perfecting this pure energy, one then would fully embrace charity and therein gain full understanding of the universal plan. Life itself then becomes complete, and one truly comes full circle and looks at the world through the eyes of an innocent child, yet with the deepest wisdom, born of pure love from the eighth veil. If Don Harkins' theory had been correct, there would have been only about 70,000 people on the planet who have successfully pierced the sixth veil, and this few would have been considered insane by most people. From the point of view of non-light beings, however, it is now rather bad news that Harkins was wrong, because there are far more who have unveiled the 9 veils by choosing the red pill. Now, as far more light beings attain Christ consciousness, it seems that now the non-light beings must choose. Either they change their diet from adrenochrome and fear to light and love, or they must look for another place than planet Earth. And since it can be assumed that their stomachs cannot tolerate light and love, they can be wished a good journey. The more powerfully the light beings express their unconditional love, the faster the non-light beings are gone. Trust in the power of love is the solution to everything. We, the light beings, trust in what makes us, the power of unconditional love.